Hello, hello. Thank you for the follow, Taj. Welcome, welcome. I hope you guys are having a good Saturday. Okay, so what's going on astrologically? So we had, what is today? Today's Saturday, May 2nd, and we are still in the, well, a little bit after effects of the full moon in Scorpio that we had. A lot of interesting energy going on in the world, as we know. Oh, I already flipped that over. And a lot of the full moon in Scorpio, so much of it is about using your discernment and understanding how to trust yourself more than you think. Hi, Rob, how are you? Than you think that you ever could. So with the full moon in Scorpio in Human Design, it was in gate 44, which is also 11 degrees in astrology. So when we're looking at those placements, right, it's being very analytical, truly trusting your instincts and figuring out like what are the things or the patterns that you've recognized and you're like, okay, I've clocked this, I clocked this energy. Now I need to figure out how am I going to extract myself from it in some capacity, right? So like if you feel like there's been things that have happened to you that you've let happen, or I don't want to say like let go, I will let go on for a while, and you finally kind of have hit your breaking point. That's what a lot of the full moon in Scorpio was about. Let me do this before I forget to. I've been, especially in Patreon more so, have been teaching my crew over there about degree theory and slowly going through the degrees as we hit a new lunation. It's trying to show me the updates. Let's do this. Let me go to my live chat. Okay, there we go. Hi, Pinky. How are you? I'm just getting settled in here. I wanted to send a message to my Patreon crew. Are you back in the States? Or are you still abroad? I'm sorry your trip didn't go as planned, but I'm glad you went over there to make some decisions before upending your whole life and moving across the way. Yeah, oh, you're staying over there? You're staying over in Portugal or in the States? I was talking too fast for my own good. Let me make sure that I understand. Oh, your house. Okay. Yeah, I mean, listen, at least it's set up for like, you've optimized it for how you need to navigate it to the best of your ability at this point. So that's, somewhat helpful to be able to know that, but I'm just glad for your sake that like after the couple discussions that we had, that you were able to go over there and figure it out again before going over and selling everything that you own and being like, oh, I actually hate this, let me move back, and then that becomes a secondary issue. More stress is not good for all your Virgo and Leo. A lot of Virgo placements know that they can deal with a lot of stress like that. Hi, Guru, how are you? Nice to see you. I was getting confused with your name. Are you also Siraj? Is that also your government name? Because there were two Sirages that I think have Guru in their handle. No, UXT Zone was Siraj. But I'm slowly remembering, putting everybody together. I started volunteering with baby animals in my spare time, and not necessarily spare, but time that I wanted to make time to be able to give back in some way in my community. And so this week I got my second rabies vaccination, so that, thank you Dario for the follow, so that I could feed the baby raccoons, and that took me out. Oh, Vaishnav. Okay, thank you. That took me out. So I was all during the full moon in Scorpio, a couple of my clients and friends were like, how did you feel? And I was like, I was so tired that I slept through most of it at this point too. But it's so cute. I've, in the times that I'm there have been a couple, I have my, if I show my shoulder, this is the first one from a week ago. Then you get a second one. Because I'm so fair, it looks a little bit more dramatic. I don't know if you guys can see it, but definitely on TikTok. I don't know if on YouTube you guys can see it, but it's worth it. It's worth it to help them. And it's so funny because Cancer for me, I'm an Aquarius rising, so Cancer for me is in the 6th house. And Jupiter is now direct in Cancer. And right when that transit had happened was when I started volunteering. So it's funny because even though, of course, I do, astrology and human design for a living, it's been my full-time self-employed gig for 5 years now, I still allow myself to be surprised by the transits and just going with the flow. And it's honestly just a great test of knowing that you can trust yourself and knowing that as a person, that's interested in this work, you have more of an ability to be more intuitive than you may give yourself credit for. Hi, Tarun. How are you? Nice to see you. Happy Saturday. But as we're talking, I was saying here to talk with you guys, not at you. So, hi, Kendall. I'm good. I was just saying I got my second rabies vaccine. So I was exhausted this week. What else did I do? Yeah, on Thursday, I had gone, that was my day this past week. And so there was actually a hoarding situation where at the center that I volunteer at, yes, oh my gosh, I just had vanilla ice cream with cashews and dark chocolate the other day. That's funny, you're eating the same thing. I've never known anyone else to eat that combo. I love that. We have the same palate. But there was pigeons that were rescued from, hi Haley, hoarding, on a walking pad. Hi Mira back. I'm on as I'm talking to, if you guys have any questions, you can drop them about your astrology, your human design. If you just I'm saying I'm here to talk with you, not at you. So if there's anything that you want to ask me about for your human design, thank you, for your astrology in the comments, hi fellow Brenna, feel free to do that as we're chatting. I know it was a rough full moon in Scorpio for a lot of people, so I'm happy to be of service. If you want me to pull up your chart, I do have the booking link. It's 10 minutes, $15 for your human design and astrology in one. And you get a copy of it, but you don't have to do that if you know your chart and just want to ask me questions or, I'm Scorpio rising, what does that mean? Those kinds of things, whatever you have questions for. So, Muhammad, this would be one of the places, to listen and talk about it, but more so Duolingo or have conversations in person with somebody. Hi Ghost, happy Saturday. Yes, I'm like, what day is it? But with that being said, a couple of the things that they had me doing with the animals is that there was a pigeon hoarding situation. So there was a person that had, I want to say it was over 200 pigeons or something in their home, in their residence. And they got taken to the clinic that I volunteer at. And so they had to get moved from one enclosure to the other. So one of the things that I had to do was get a net. And at first I had help, but then there was an animal that got brought to the center that needed the director that was helping me. She needed to go tend to that because it was something that it was just out of my knowledge base. Hi, Ruby. And so we did the first half of pigeons and brought them from one cage, set up to another to help them get rehabilitated. And after, she had to go, I was like, okay, so here I am. Hi, Baki. I have to get the rest of these pigeons by myself. So I had this net and my strategy, I was like, okay, let's see. I'm just going to pick one pigeon and follow it around because the enclosure really isn't massive. So it was 8 feet long and about 4 or 5 feet wide, I would say. And so I would just like circle the pigeon above it with its net, and then eventually it felt like it couldn't fly up anymore, and I was able to get it on the bottom and move them. So that was one of the things I did in terms of volunteering. Hi Samrat, how are you? So, those things, I like it because like as a person that's also like multifaceted, I'm a manifesting generator. Hi Siddharth, in human design. I always need that variety. It's like the ADHD version of us. There's a lot of places we could look at that in astrology as well. Different signs and a lot of Virgo placements, anxious energy. I'm a Pisces, also anxious energy, sister sign of Virgo. It's like those places we could see like people that are more inclined to work with animals, or who need diversity in their day. So it's nice for me because when I do something, and it's just good, like good human psychology, like when we allow ourselves to take a mental break to work on something else and learn a new skill, right? If we dedicate a day or so just to that, well, if your name is Shush, I mean, Scorpio pretty much falls up in there. That's one of the things. If you're saying Shush, or if you're very chatty, maybe some Gemini placements, you don't want other people to talk, but you want to talk. So just that would be the guess right there, just based on the lack of profile picture. You like your privacy and like to be hidden. But Jalebi, oh my gosh, so sweet, but that sounds good. Elon once told about you. He's a good guy. Yeah, there you go. I wonder who you're mimicking. Ghost was asking, how do I find my astrology in this case? I would want to stick to the topic. So go to astro-seek.com, Ghost, and then put in your birth data, and then it'll say on the right hand side on your computer, I think you have to scroll down if you're on your phone, there'll be a sign, what's called the glyph, so a picture of a sun. It'll tell you your sun sign, and then what you're looking for when you're looking for a rising sign, which is what I prefer to start with, is your ascendant. It's on the left hand side of that circular picture. That's your birth chart, and it says ASC. So the short version of that is just go to astro-seek.com and then go from there. Yeah, I mean, if you don't know your birthday, then it's harder to say. But I have had, one of my clients was adopted from Korea, and her birthday was in between 2 days. Because of the time zone shift, her parents were from the States, they were American, and they adopted her from South Korea. So there was a discrepancy, but because of the 2 dates that could have been there, basically she would have been an Aquarius regardless of the day. So if you know a best guess for your birthday, there's only few kind of like outlying circumstances for people who would not know their birthday by like a big amount. I do actually know one of my former clients' husbands was from Iran, and he didn't have a birth certificate when he came to this country, so they guessed that it was in January. So maybe, I don't know if that was your circumstance as well, but I have had a few outliers like yourself who don't necessarily know. Yeah, exactly. I like how we have to we have to use like symbols now. It's like back to hieroglyphics. How to create a deep connection with God. So I really think that that's personal to the individual, Samrat. So if you're looking to create like a deeper connection to any kind of what people call, say, God, Allah, like I know I have a lot of people that are from a bunch of different backgrounds here, which I love. But yeah, exactly, to Siddhar's point, define God in the first place. So I think that what is universal whenever you hear in any different discipline, no matter the religion, no matter the spiritual background, anything along those lines, it's really about getting into almost like a meditative, and or / place of what some more organized religions would call prayer, right? Just getting into like a quiet, still moment to really like speak in your mind or speak out loud to the God that you are connecting with, right? It's like having a dialogue like you would with anybody else in your life that you want to create a deeper connection with, even if it's just like, and like you're sitting with a friend or you're sitting with a loved one. And sometimes you don't even have to talk out loud to be in each other's company and enjoy that connection. That can also be, what prayer looks like for some people. So, the first step for me is always just carving out time for the things that are important to you. So if you want to create a deeper connection, it's not a matter of like, how many hours do you spend at, praying, or do you spend in a mosque, or do you spend in church, or, it's not about like checking off time in the way that other humans approve of, but rather like even if it's just 10 seconds to say a thank you to God, source, the universe for the blessings that you have. I think gratitude is always a important practice when you're communing with the divine. Absolutely. So that in and of itself. Which food you most which food do I mostly love? I love Italian food. But that's just because I'm also a Northeasterner in the US, so we eat a lot of Italian food, pasta, pizza. I love good charcuterie. Hello, Alfer, welcome. Oh, Buenos Aires, amazing. Why would you think God would connect with you? First of all, chill, aggressive for no reason. And why does all people that God connects with only happen in dreams or on a mountain? Like, why does he not take a little selfie? Okay. I always love the way you explain your students. I'm one of them. You're so sweet, Samrat. I'm happy too. Yeah, I think I like just get it, like the different perspectives are always helpful, you know? But I think you're, for somebody that claims to have a high emotional intelligence at Earth, I think your reactions are like, are you trying to rage bait just for the sake of it? Or do you really get that amped up over something that, like, the punishment doesn't fit the crime? It's kind of weird for you. At least in my corner of the world. I don't think it's weird for you, actually, but I think it's weird on the internet in a time where it's like the conversation doesn't require it to get agitated for no reason. Yeah, just not now. But I'm like, wrong place for that. You could go with Eloise and argue offline, but I don't need it in my chat. But yeah, it's interesting. I think that people are struggling to, because, you know, there's a lot of reasons for this, for why time feels like it's going. Hi, Karan, how are you? Hi, 111. I love that. Why time feels like it's going so fast from an astrological perspective. Happy weekend. I would say Uranus and Gemini, but, you know, with AI and all of these new inventions, you know, our phones, blah, 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 I've talked about this a lot. Like, we just have to really be aware of what we're consuming. Hi, Martha. Hi, Sparkle Dew, that's so cute. Be aware of our intention. You know, for those of you, manifesting generator, me as well. Hello. I was just talking about, because this is my work that I do full time, 111. And I was talking about how once a week I volunteer now, helping, you know, animals and at a wildlife sanctuary and clinic where they like rehab animals, things like that. And I was saying how like we need that division as manifesting generators. So hi, Spiritual Aquarius, I love that. Hi, Kay. We need that stimulation. Yay, Sparkle, I love that. Welcome. Yeah. No, it's just you're aggressive for no reason. I think that as a student, my teacher has every explanation for most of the questions I will ask. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's good. It's knowing how to ask your teachers too. I'm in the US. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about your astrology as well, that's what I'm primarily here for. I have a Patreon, so every Saturday I go live to kind of do like a spiritual office hours for them, so they can book a 10-minute complimentary reading with me on this page. So I give them a recording after. But if you want to book an actual reading with me, I also do that, right? So what was I gonna say? Okay, well that's good, Siddharth, now you're gone. Sorry. So when we're actually talking about the astrology of right now, right, it's like things are moving very quickly. So at a fast pace, you know, having to make decisions very quickly, figuring out how we can, as a millennial, I always say, like, go to the computer room and take time to be able to say, okay, this is what I'm doing, and this is how I'm able to create space for all the things that I have to take time to do, right? So especially as manifesting generators, like, we always need the division of things, right? Division of time and place of things to do. And it's finding the way to indulge in that ADHD-like quality, but to not feel like you're so scattered that you forget what you're doing. That's an important thing too. Hi, Josh, how are you? Thank you. Yeah, ADHD. That I find that a lot, and I think that a lot of people are like finally having the vocabulary to put to words that they haven't had in the past, you know, like especially when it comes to manifesting generatorness. Like I would look at that, you know, that comparison a lot, or see that comparison a lot. Hi Tiana, how are you? Brenna, can you please tell me about my future me? So I'm not, in terms of like future predicting, I think that's where a lot of people get confused when it comes to astrology. And so with astrology, I'm happy to see you too. I do connect with loved ones. Yes, I can connect with loved ones, but yeah. Oops. But yeah, in terms of future predicting, humans are humans. I could tell you, Tarun, that you're gonna be the best chef in the whole entire world, but if you don't make any effort to get into a kitchen, too bad, so sad, not gonna happen. Yes, this is the energy of the day. So I don't connect to spirit necessarily for free, Kenzie. So for these readings, I do paid reading. So it's $15, 10 minutes. The link is in my bio for that, just to keep it fair. Either when I'm connecting to spirit, I've always done lives that way, so I just keep it fair for anyone who's ever paid me, as well as bringing up charts for people, because it just takes a level of energetic connection. I'm only on here for about another half hour or so, just to be fair for everybody. So if you want a one-on-one, which is what that would be, it would monopolize the energy of the room. It's fine, but I just have it booked through the link in my bio. So any general questions about like loved ones, connection, general astrology, I'm happy to answer so it's important for the crew to include everybody. I've heard people saying that Sagittarius sign is not good. Is it true? They can call you guys Sagittarius sometimes, because sometimes you can suck the energy out of the room when you need a lot of attention, but that's not every Sagittarius. That's why I say not everybody is just their sun sign. So paying attention to that, you would think, right? So, you know, some Sagittarius placements, when they're not getting the attention in the right places, can like create disruptions just for the sake of attention. Things like that. Happy Saturday. I'm feeling good. Yeah, I was saying I got my second rabies vaccine. So you can see it on the right hand side. So I slept like for hours. My husband also was traveling for work, and I picked him up yesterday. So we were just like so tired. He had been up for like 30 hours because he took a red-eye flight. It was a lot. Yeah, I'm glad, Bunny. That's awesome. I have done tarot. I could do tarot for you if you wanted, but honestly, I'd rather just stick to either spiritual readings, or human design or astrology today, because my head is more geared in that space. I do a level of preparation before I hop on. So tarot, I haven't done in a while. I'd be a little rusty. Do you think that people should believe in astrology? I mean, is it real? I mean, I wouldn't do it as a career for the last 5 years if I didn't think it was real. But you can believe in God and believe in astrology. It's more like divisive for no reason for people who disconnect. Ghost thinks there was a lot to see in my astrology and a lot of descriptions working with someone alongside. Yeah, absolutely. So Ghost, since you subscribed to me for a while, if you take a screenshot, you can post it in the community tab, and I could write comments to you about your astrology to tell you where to start to look. Would you ever do a video of hot takes on each zodiac because you're really good at it? Absolutely. I feel like that's kind of my, right, like the quick one steps, you know, things like that. Yeah, I'm okay, because I didn't actually get rabies. It's to prevent rabies. So the rabies vaccine, I'm writing that down, Deanna. Hot takes on zodiac signs, and then I'll say something about Libra in a second. And it's funny because as a sacral manifesting generator, like it takes me like a minute to, like I have to get the download to talk about something, you know, like it has to be in my mind's eye. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, rabies, I think, is the reason that people used to believe like full-blown and demonic possession, because when you're too far gone as a person, when you actually get rabies, get hydrophobic. So there's a fear of water. Yeah, a dog bite issue. I had that too when I was in Spain. I got bit by a German Shepherd and had to go get a shot at the clinic. That was fun. I was on a study abroad trip. Bunny, let me know if you want like a little overview about human design, if you think that it's helpful. Yeah, it's to prevent rabies, because one of the things that I'm going to be responsible for when I volunteer is feeding baby raccoons. So I've done squirrels, chipmunks, bunnies. Well, not bunnies. I've just like helped. They can't go to the bathroom on their own, so you have to stimulate them. But I've done chipmunks, possums, squirrels, and then yeah, I just learned how to tube feed a possum. Okay, perfect. So I have to, but I can't do raccoons without being vaccinated. So yeah. Okay, but yeah, so Sparkle, I'll do Libra and then do a little bit, Bunny, of an overview. I'm a 1-3, so I'm a good person to learn like the basics from. And then as you like, I'm like, okay, A+, you've done that, you checked that mark, you checked that box. Then I'm good to go down the rabbit hole because I have a lot of Scorpio. But so Libra in general. So Libras are sometimes what people think Scorpios are. Libras can be like, you're the scales, right? So something I really like, there's this woman named Bree who is a younger astrologer on here. She's really good at her craft. And she was one of the ways that I explain Libra, which I think is really interesting, is that Libra is the only sign of the 12 signs of the zodiac that's represented by an inanimate object, which is the scales. So a good Libra, especially as a 2-4, oh, you're Bunny, you're the 2-4, is going to be a little bit more detached from people, right? So it's like learning how to calm your anxiety. I found out the people that I find that can be the most nervous when things are unbalanced, the most sensitive, until they learn how to alchemize that, are Libras. Hi, Chico. It goes back and forth, right? It's like the scales. I don't know if you've ever seen Moon Knight with Oscar Isaac, and there's this scene that I always say is like very representative of, Libras, and the Ethan Hawke's character holds this like cane in his hand, and it starts going back and forth really fast, like a crazy thing on a Ouija board. And one of my closest childhood friends is a Libra, and she's dealt with like borderline crippling anxiety. A lot of Libra, a lot of Scorpio in her chart. Just to validate that for you, thank you for the follow. I'm like, okay, whenever someone follows me after I say something, I'm like, okay, I know I've hit something on the head that like they know applies to them. But a lot of what we go to you for is to learn how to be detached from the anxiety around you. For Libras, it's the internalized weight that other people have put on your scales that create imbalance. So it's like you have to start to disassociate or detach in a healthy way from other people's weight that's on your scales. You're merely the judge, and other people bring their shit. But if they put too much shit and you don't have enough of that balance and saying, this is yours, put it over there, then that's when you start to take on too much energy that isn't yours. So I always say having some kind of like, people will visualize like white light bubbles of protection, or, keeping their boundaries, clear, around them, just making sure that you know what you're in every environment for, knowing how to mentally prepare to enter into a room that you know it's going to be chaotic is important. I'm just going to keep using the animal example because it's fresh in my mind, but I, with the clinic, with helping these animals that are in the rehab that come in, they're injured. If I didn't go in there, and this is same for a Libra as it is for my placements too, and the person that I am, if I didn't go in there, like I go in there saying, listen, I'm going to see some sad things. There are some pretty sad things. Not every animal that comes into the clinic is going to survive, right? However, I know that I'm in an environment, yes, but not for profession, that not every animal is going to be curable, right? Me 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I had to work to get to that place of like helpful detachment, right? To say like, I know that not every animal is going to make it here. But there is everybody here, even if I don't like, thank you, Marlene. Even if I don't like everybody here, I know that my goal here is not to be liked by every person in this room. My goal is to communicate effectively, even with people that I don't like, in order to get the job done, because everyone here is at least here because they love animals. So even if I don't like this person, we all have the common goal of loving animals. And that's how you like disengage with that anxiety, you know, Sparkly. Like you have to know what you're in it for, is the best way I can say it. So having that ability to detach is very helpful as a Libra, for sure. Let me know if that created any follow-up questions, but yeah, I mean, ultimately balance is important. For Bunny, beautiful Bunny, I was just feeding some baby bunnies, a pile of 6 baby bunnies the other day. For you is a 2-4. You're welcome. The 2 in your profile is how you're externally perceived. The 4 is how you feel on the inside. I say a la astrology, the 2 is like your rising sign. It's like generally what people see in your aura. But the 4 is like your moon sign, how you really feel internally. So internally, that 4 line is the opportunist. It's seizing the day, seizing the opportunity. And I'll pivot back after. Yes, Deanna. A lot of what I'll help a lot. Hi, Madame. How are you? I'll help people with that. Leo rise. Oh, we're right there. So I'm an Aquarius rising and a Pisces sun. So we have sun moon synastry, and you're the sister sign in terms of our rising signs. I don't know if you saw or you came from maybe that video that I made that went like viral in terms of the astrology community on here about the Leo rising and Aquarius rising. I was talking about isolation for us, especially with all of our Pisces. I have a Pisces stellium. So we need periods of isolation and intentional detachment. If we have been really, which happens a lot, right? Because you are sensitive, right? You have a lot of that, like we can get really weighed down if we don't find ways to alchemize the pain or the disappointment around us. But every Leo rising, every Aquarius rising, or Leo and Aquarius placements really do need those periods of isolation to just get clarity on like, okay, this thing happened. How am I processing it? And the biggest way that I can say it is like, I know that I've got me at the end of the day. Happy belated birthday, Aries sun. Okay, yeah. So there's so much. So if you're a Leo rising and an Aries sun, your sun is in one of the angular houses to your Leo rising, which would be your 4th house, if I'm doing that correctly, or your 10th house. I always forget. So if Aquarius is across, I want to say your 10th house. Deanna, is it your 10th house? I know you're a Leo rising. I'm pretty sure. Or 9th house sun. Okay. Thank you. Ooh, I love that. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if human design, if you really wanted to do that for work or just like really take that as one of your special interests, like having the sun in the 9th house is like very philosophical. You will feel, are you a manifesting generator or a projector? Yeah, Samrat, you have to get something called the titer after 3 weeks, which is blood work to confirm that the rabies vaccination took to your blood. So, like, I have to go to get a blood test in 3 weeks to figure that out. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, so human design, to give you that overview instead of just throwing facts at you and you're like, this is a lot. I also, Bunny, I cross-record these, so I'm dual streaming to YouTube right now. So my live stream from today, it's Saturday, May 2nd, right after I leave here today, will be on there. So if there's anything that I'm saying, it's like 30 minutes into the recording, I started answering your question. You can listen to it back. But essentially, human design, I have a free chart generator on my website. It's brennakeely.com/create-your-chart. It's in the link in my bio. So it'll say like all your factoids of your human design. But there's there's one of 12 sun signs you could be, there's one of 5 energy types that you can be in human design. So manifesting generator, projector, manifestor, or reflector. And so that's the first place you're always going to look. Generator. Okay, perfect. So when you're a generator, you are part of the like subcategory or category that's associated with man-gens, which is what I am. And we're the people that really like you would enjoy like the physical labor aspect, especially as an Aries, of seeing like, okay, I did this thing. You know, if I was told to clean something or create something, I did this thing and I cleaned it and it's done, right? Like we like kind of like, I say like the Oonga Boonga human work. But as much as you do need those periods of like, okay, I've worked really hard, isolation. And how you use your energy in the world as a generator is by responding. Same for my manifesting generators. So basically, Leo rising, that makes sense. With that being said, right? Every day when you wake up, I want you to start to work with your human design experiment, as us mentors call it, us, I would say readers, mentors of human design, I'll say. I forget the word off the top of my head. But you want to start to respond to things in A or B, black or white, yes or no questions. It's the open-ended, and this is 70% of the population, by the way, responds this way. So statistically, even if you don't know what you are, you probably will do well not letting your gut instinct get overruled by your logical mind. If you're an emotional authority, which is the next thing you look at is your authority after you learned about your energy type and your strategy, your authority is important. Hi, Divinely D, how are you? Hi, Peace Crystal. I have a link if you want to book with me for this live, D. I have you, I'm a sacral too. Okay, yeah. So yes or no, A or B, black and white questions. I have a link in my bio that says book a YouTube live reading. So you'll be able to pick a time for today to do that. If not, it's just like any other website. It's linked brennakeely.com/readings, and you can book if you want to talk like one-on-one for a half hour or an hour, that's there as well. I'm just going to bring up my Gmail because I need to see the notifications while I'm yapping away in case anyone has booked. If I ever yap, if I forget to bring that up and I'm yapping, just be like, hey, what about me? I booked. Don't forget about me. There we go. Okay. I wasn't yapping over anybody, so that's good. Thank you. My dry erase marker for my calendar. So sacral authority, I have one as well. We need to let the somatics of our body, like literally putting your hands on your stomach, thinking about like what makes your stomach upset. When you have a lot of those issues, it will tell you that you're out of alignment with listening to yourself. Now, for you, with the 2-4, right, that the first initial response or how your energy is meant to be used, hi Demi, is like slow and steady wins the race. So even though you have a lot of fire, you're very passionate, it's like you really want to be very selective in who you choose to share your personal energy with. Like there's a lot of videos that you'll see about, thank you Silent, about people who will say like, I'm gonna like bastardize the tip, but basically it's like some people think I'm really quiet, but that's just because I don't show them who I really am. Like I'm not comfortable around them. And that's like the core essence of a 2-4 in a short little clip with your Leo rising and your Aries sun, Pisces moon placement. It's like you want to choose like, instead of, and I don't know, it depends on nature and nurture of your placements, right? If you struggled with like trying to be likable by everybody or a people pleaser, then it's like, wait, why do I want everyone to like me? Because I don't even like everybody. Like, I don't even like you, so why am I trying to be liked by you, you know? Very 4 line. But it's, the 4 line, you want to be cautious, like seizing the opportunity and being like, I want to take this opportunity, but I don't want to do so from a place of like over entitlement ego or like I'm going to take this because I know somebody else really wants this. It's like truly do it because it's what you as Bunny wants to do. Like it's not like taking it away. A lot of Geminis can struggle with that. Being yourselves, exactly. I'm talking specifically about the lens of human design VTR, so you're right, but I was just explaining like a more specific concept. I don't know when you tuned in, but yeah, I would say, taking the time to figure out who you like, what you like, where you want to go, what you want to do, is important, and to know that like, what I say to all Leo risings or people who have a lot of Cancer as well, a lot of Luminary, Aquarius too, even Scorpio, like it's okay to be like seen by people who don't like you, right? Like if you figure out like, okay, is this person really gonna come and try to like get me in the middle of the night? Has it happened to people? Unfortunately, yes. But like, am I equating that sense of like, with something that doesn't require that anxiety, Thank you. I need to write my own books. Thank you. Split definition. So that means that you have 2 pockets of energy centers that speak to each other. So split definition, when you're looking at your human design body graph, like in front of me on the screen, you're going to see that there are colors. So the shapes that are colored in. and shapes that are white. That means that your centers that are colored in are two different pockets of energy centers that are having like their own conversations. So I have split definition as well. I think like 57%, if I'm remembering the statistics correctly, have split definition. And essentially, there's going to be a hanging gate, or I used to have a podcast called the Authentic Bitches Podcast, but I stopped paying for it because it got boring. I like I'm a sacral authority, so I like more of the instant gratification of like, okay, I could do a podcast and talk at you, or I could talk with you right now. So I enjoy this more. I'm not going to be live on Wednesdays anymore. I actually had 2 more mentees that I signed up for mentorship. Both of them are going to be booked on Wednesdays, so my schedule will change. I think I'm only going to be live for right now on Tuesdays, Fridays, Saturdays. I think that's going to be my new routine, but I have to get back to that. But yeah, so that means that you look for people with a gate that bridges your split. So essentially, if you have 2 pockets of energy centers that are split from each other, when you have half of those tubes, which are called channels, colored in, that's called the hanging gate. It's reaching out. Hi, sidewalk. It's reaching out to the energy center that sits across from it. So for me, for example, the gate that I have that's looking to make connection is gate 57, which is a Libra placement. I connect with a lot of Libras because Libras with gate 57 bridge my split and almost are like, oh, I see your 2 voices that are trying to talk to each other, Brenna. This is how we can move to work together. This is how we can kind of like create some flow here. And that's why like we need other people to respond to. So having that, thank you, Peace Crystal. It's for whatever reason it blocked it. Hold on. This is the other comment that I can see. You are mom? I can hear the accent already. But yeah, like having that one gate that connects you to other people. So usually it's like an astrology sign that grounds us, but it's the reason I have a lot of Libras around me too. Yeah, Deanna, of course. Yeah, enjoy your movie. A lot of people were watching Mario, and I really want to see the new Devil Wears Prada today. Yeah, so, Samrat, copy and paste your comment that I missed again. Yeah. Where are you from? Because you can consult nearby doctor for your place for all your questions. Oh, there's some for somebody else, yeah. Thank you, VTR. I get so lost when trying to look into my human design. It is very overwhelming, Angela. You're not alone. I say it's like drinking through a damn fire hose and being like, I just needed a sip. Like, this is a lot. Like, why are you turning on the fire hose? Like, I really just needed a water bottle, but thank you. And the guy, Raul Rahu, that created human design, so I'm an art historian by like university degree, and then 10 years ago when I graduated from college, dating myself, I was like, I don't want to be in a library anymore. And I want to study every personality test under the sun. So I was living and working in New York City. Because I did art history and I didn't want to be in a library, I did a lot of arts and music and talent management in the city for a while. And then 5 years ago, finally took the plunge to do this full time because people were more interested in me talking about this than my art stuff when I was like doing talent management, which was funny, but I went where the wind took me because I trusted myself and I trusted the data and the feedback that I was getting from the people that wanted to pay me, because whether we like it or not, it takes money to make the world go around right now. So what I would do back then was anybody that would, want to know more about their astrology. Yeah, I've thought about getting my PhD. I would go back to school. I would be in school every day of my life if I had the opportunity, because I'm a nerd like that. There's never enough for me to learn, I will always continue to learn. So we keep our minds sharp too, especially if dementia runs in your family. But yeah, so that's my little bit of lore. I forget why I was saying that. Oh, human design, Angela was saying, feels overwhelming. So the first place to start is, and I'll explain the history in a second because I know I started talking about Raul Rahu, the founder, is to learn everything that you can about solidifying your understanding of your energy type, your strategy, and your authority. Anything after that, even though it's really complicated, thank you, Bunny, are like little puzzle pieces that fall into place like a domino effect. It's like the more detailed you can go, you come back out again and you're like, you understand that everything kind of leads back to those 3 anchor points of your chart. So but I love the nitty-gritty details, so I love going down a rabbit hole. So it's kind of like a start as I say, do as I say, not as I do always, but I trust your judgment as an eloquent adult to be able to discern, how you want to go about your process. But I do have at the top of my profile, when you scroll through my playlist, I have a 5-part series for every energy type. So, okay, I love that. So as a projector, I invite you to ask me any questions you have. But I do have a 5-part series for my projectors that is very popular. And I have people saving it like almost every day that explains your projectorness really well. So just to validate like your experiences as to why you feel like if you see someone that's like goes after what they want and they get a yes really easily, you do the exact same thing and people want to bite your head off. That's why. Because the best way I can explain being a projector, and I was just talking to my husband about this yesterday, was like, there are people who, when it's Christmas, I say for projectors, it's implied elegance. And this is really good for everybody, right? It's just good energy that shows that you're confident or that you have a lot of trust in yourself, trust in the universe, whatever you want to, however you want to use those 3 things, or even just one of them. Whatever. So what I can say, or the way that I describe it, is that when it's Christmas time, it is a stylistic decision to have every single thing in your house say Merry Christmas, right? Merry Christmas curtains, Merry Christmas on the Christmas tree, Merry Christmas on the pillows, Merry Christmas on the blanket. Or, hi Toby. Or you have the implied elegance of like people like the Nancy Meyers aesthetic. It's, you change your curtains to be red and green plaid, and you have a nice fluffy fuzzy blanket because it's warmer. Like things that just create the atmosphere of Christmas versus telling everybody in big fat bold letters that it's Christmas time. So the biggest kind of like distinction that I see, even if that's like a little bit of a fake it till you make it type of thing that you do, is just to learn how to be so fucking confident in what you bring to the table that like you don't have to shout that it's Merry Christmas, because people look at you and they're like, I know that person knows something that I don't and is confident in a way that is rare. And that, I promise you, I've chosen, I'm saying this, like, will give you so many invitations as a projector. It's like not even funny. I'm dual streaming at the same time. So I'll answer a question here and then come back to you, Megs. But yes, because I have a lot of 5-1s too. Beautiful Toby is a 5-1. My beautiful Libra, I'm forgetting S is the start of your username, that just sparkly. There's not one strongest zodiac sign per se. I'm sorry if I don't know if you're still here or not, but I just popped into my mind that you asked that earlier. It's a cocktail of a bunch of different things. I know these talks are very refreshing, understanding I would need your aside so I can understand more. Yeah, that's fair. Samra, what's the one quality you always love to see in your students and you would recommend that quality should exist in every student? To always be a student, to don't be so arrogant that you think that you know everything, and to not think that any question is too dumb, because you're just a person who's brave enough to answer or ask the thing out loud to get it answered. I'm okay with sounding dumb all the time. It's actually the sign of a smart person to know that they don't know everything and to be able to admit it, not just so stubborn that they can't do that. I follow that advice myself, I don't care about not knowing things. I know that it's impossible for me to know everything, and if I did know everything, I would be bored. I'd be like, all right, what's the point in being here? God, take me now. It sounds so morbid, but it's true. I want to keep learning. But yeah, so 5-1s. You guys can like to talk more about other people than about yourselves. I always say that you make really good detectives because you're very good at asking a question and sitting and holding space for the person to answer. So if you really wanted to get a lot of data out of people by making them feel seen, but you're very good at making people feel hi Brazil, they know a lot about you just by being comfortable with you, and you people will overshare to you. But it's time and place. A beautiful Leo rising 5-1s, having that balance of reciprocity is important. I say that every single 5-1, you guys are very hyper aware of how you're perceived by other people, though, even though other people are not aware of that. It's almost like what you hear in the spiritual community is called a witch wound. I say almost every 5-line person, especially women more so, that I have, because I only have one man off the top of my head that I can think about that kind of falls into that category, but it's almost an irrational fear of being oft by people that don't like you. And I say it's irrational because I don't have those placements. So what's rational to you is irrational to me because my placements are different. I don't say that to dismiss your feelings because that's a real feeling for you. And I honestly feel like, because human design does believe in a level of reincarnation, that it does come from like, we could say past lives as a general statement, but in the concept of reincarnation, it was like, oh, your literal last lifetime was like Salem witch trials. Happy to have you here now again in 1990, whatever, or whenever you were born. So it's like that sense of betrayal in your life is very close to the 5 ones that I tend to see. I think that tends to be a universal truth for most 5s, but I will say that because I have so much Scorpio, I do find that the bulk of people that are 5 ones that are attracted to working with me have a level of intense things that not every human design reader is equipped or cares to handle, because they don't know how to sit with that intensity and know the difference between people mistaking them for a psychologist or a psychiatrist versus people just having gone through tough shit and knowing how to handle it with other people who have dealt with hard things, right? So it's like you have to kind of use your discernment for who you share certain things with as a 5-1, because there's like, I've dealt with a lot of hard shit in my life, like stuff that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy, but I wear it with a level of lightness because I also knew how to alchemize it and then talk about it with the right people in the right places in the right time. Didn't always do it perfectly. Funny, I understand. Usually everyone, it's like just like that. I have I'm an Aquarius rising, so a lot of Saturnian energy in my chart. Yeah, Leo Sun, Libra Moon, Cancer rising. Yes, me too. Do you have gate 63 or 64 in your chart, Megs? It's going to be in the top portion here. So in the top 2, specifically the very top, your crown or your head center. I'm from the United States. But yeah, Aquarius, Capricorn. So Aquarius Sun, so Sun, Moon, rising. Aquarius Sun, Aquarius Moon, Capricorn rising. A lot of Saturn. Oh my God. Absolutely. Angela, are you first generation too, or first of your family to do a lot of different things? I get a lot of first generation, first of their, curse breakers. So, oh, hi, Kevin. How are you? That's so cool. A 5-1. Wow, that was perfect timing. Oh my God. You came when you were supposed to. Thank you, Karan. Observable universe. Okay. Who needs school 12 years and maybe those 4? If you go to college, you start at 6. Brenna is a teacher. I could listen for hours and not get bored. You're so sweet. I'm happy. I like to give you guys examples of things that you could leave here and apply immediately. So yeah. I can't read the Quran. I don't know Arabic, unfortunately. I would love to learn though. Yeah. I mean, listen, Megs, you're perfect for it. Jupiter on your ascendant right now in Cancer is like, if you want a career change, like now's the time to do it. It's very much so like a self-overhaul. You also have all of our planets in Aries and Saturn included that are opposing your moon. So it's this like trying to find emotional balance right now. It's like making you do the hard things, right? Like pushing and saying like, oh, like, I know this is so uncomfortable. I know Angela's like a pro at this, but yeah, it's just a lot of that. Why am I dancing? I'm walking, not dancing, but I'm glad you think that my dancing looks like walking. Yeah, Angela, I have a couple. So I have a client that's Egyptian that has those placements too. I have a client that's Dominican that also has those placements too. Aquarius, Capricorn energy, Capricorn rising specifically. And it's very like, you will not relate, Angela. Bien, Fabian, gracias. How about you? Hablo un poco. I'm yo rusty in mi español. I have not practico con mi esposo. Okay. Yeah, Kevin, I'm so glad. Yeah, I feel, Kevin, we met a long time ago, right? Like, I feel like you were on one of my first lives, like, months ago. Like, it was a long time ago when we were talking. But yeah. Hi, Bashir. How are you? This is what I'll say, too, about astrology and human design. Anything that you have that on your heart that you want to do, like you get that 3 a.m. thought, in your mind about something that you want to achieve, it's not a matter, the question that you don't have to ask, yes, Kevin, okay, I remember. The question that you want to ask yourself is not, can I do this or should I do this? Oh, cool. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I was just curious, like, gate 64 is Virgo, gate 63 is Pisces, gate 61 is Capricorn. So gate of mystery. So it is like questioning the mysteries of the universe, but making sure that like some things like thinking about the Bermuda Triangle, if you were like obsessed with that as a kid, that tracks as a gate 61 person, but like being okay, I think now we know what the Bermuda Triangle does, but like being okay with leaving certain things a mystery is part of your unmucking, if you will. Like it's like certain things are just not knowable. My thing, which is probably things you've dealt with, is like, let's say you get a client as a therapist that's irrational. You'll be able to explain it with the diagnoses per se, right? Depends. But so like if you are having trouble with your mom and you don't understand why she's irrational, some things are just better left like being like, okay, I don't get that right now. There's other things I have to understand, and certain things it's okay to not know, or you know, just be okay with not having to obsess over an answer now, right? And that's what I was saying earlier, Megs, about Libra placements, is since you're a Libra moon, is that Libra is the only sign of the zodiac that's represented by an inanimate object. So when other people come and place their shit on your scales, when you get overly worked up, it's because you haven't had enough time to purge out or clean off the scales. If you haven't done that in a while as a Libra placement, or when you look at where Libra is in your chart, mine is the 8th house, for example, you have to know, and Placidus, but whatever, neither here nor there, you have to know that there is a level of cleaning out that takes time in that area of your life. So do you need a prolonged period of isolation, you know, or is it something that you can do relatively quickly? Because you think about like a dog's kennel. And if that dog has been left in there for a week accidentally while somebody was on vacation, whatever, and, you know, goes to the bathroom in there, and you have to go in and clean, it's like we need like a deep crime scene level cleaning to this shit, you know, to clean it out and then allow ourselves to come back for people to place things on our scales. Think about where I use it as a semi-rhetorical question to just give you that reminder of like, maybe I have to clean out my scales in aisle 6 here and then come back and allow people. But it sounds like you're at that point where you're relatively good at it. If you're thinking about taking on that emotional and having that emotional capacity for other people to come to your Cancer rising nurturing scales and put things, you know, on them, that's important. I would just say as your placements to just be discerning about like being a young, attractive therapist and thinking about the types of clientele that you deal with and making sure that it's not that you can't deal with anybody that's particularly challenging or aggressive, but in a good therapy certification program, schooling will teach you like safety is going to be a big part of that, right? Because Cancer risings, a lot of people are always going to see you as mommy that can solve those issues for them. And I was talking about this with my mentor, who's also a therapist, and how, you know, someone texted her on her Google phone number and called her mom, and she immediately was like, nope, not doing that. Like, I'm, you know, Dr. So-and-so, not mom, even as a joke, you know? So those things you have to like nip in the bud very quickly, just to make sure that nobody takes advantage of that. Because we think about how everyone has questions for mommy all the time, and you're a luminary, right? Like you're going to get attention. So it's like making sure those boundaries are strict. I'm not afraid of that for you, but just like those things are going to have to be a little bit more forward thinking in your mind for your placements, especially. Hi, Tejas. Sorry, I don't know if I said that out loud or not. I'm so intrigued and want to learn more, but I think I need someone to break it down for me like you. Yeah, absolutely, Angela. I have a special, if you guys want, I'll be extra nice today. I do have, if you want to sit in an hour session with me, if you send me a message, I can send you a link that makes it $99 instead of $150 for my 1 hour. But I do also have a half-hour session if you wanted to do that. That's $75. Or if you're at capacity financially, I have a 5-minute $10 audio to just go over the basics too, but those are all available. I will be making written reports as well. So I just started doing my written reports so that I can make it easily condensable and put it on an automation. So that will be available within the next couple months as well by the summertime. So, okay, how are you? It's nice to see you. but it is very overwhelming. So I have a bunch of different options on my website, whatever you prefer. Truly spot on. Everything I've been working on in therapy, writes on the irrational mother. Listen, takes one to know one. That was an example from personal experience. I'm happy to talk about that. My moon is in Scorpio in the 10th house. Thank you, Bunny, me too. In the 10th house. And so my problems are veiled as much as they are visible in a weird way. I know as a luminary, you'll be able to understand that. So I'm like, I always have to address my elephants a lot of the time and say like, where is this coming from? Like there's always, layers to the story, like an onion, if you will. But yeah, there's so many things I could say. Gravity. Okay, you guys are talking about gravity and space. Okay. I was like, well, let me make sure I'm not yapping over everyone. It's good to see you too. How are you feeling with Pluto conjunct your sun? I feel like we're since the last time we saw each other, I feel like we're in a different, we're not even the same people, even though we're the same people, right? It feels familiar, but I'm like, who are we now? What are we doing? Cami, let me know what placements you have, and I'm happy to pour into you. But yeah, and any other questions? I'll probably be on for about another hour. I was only going to stay on till 2, but I'm digging the sacral flow here. Sag sun. Okay, so Sagittarians. So Zara Larson is a Sag sun. I would wonder though if you have a lot of Scorpio. Are you a very early degree Sagittarius sun? Like you're at the very late November? Just because your profile picture leads me to believe that you have some seductive energy there. Unless that's your Scorpio rising. Okay, yes. It's giving the evil Zara Larson's evil twin, in the best way, right? If I think of the song Stateside and how Pink Pantheress is in her darker colors and her darker plaid, and Zara Larson's beach fun. They call you Sagittarius for a reason. If you don't get your way, you can be very passionate about that. But yeah, it's definitely just for Sagittarians alone, you need freedom, and people need to understand that about you, and that it's a luxury, not and arguably a necessity for you to be in their lives. But it's you can make everyone like you, but you don't like everyone. I feel like that's been the consistent theme of the day. Okay, I'm catching. I dual stream on YouTube at the same time, so I'm trying to make sure I give people attention. Oh yeah, yes, it's so true. So what's interesting about the signs, right? The 12 signs of the zodiac, yeah, it does, because Libra comes after Scorpio in the astrological calendar. Wait, did I do that correctly? No, sorry, but the opposite. Or did I say that? Libra comes before Scorpio is what I meant. I don't even know if I said that out loud. My brain's going too fast for my mouth to keep up. But every sign that sits next to a sign in the zodiac. So I'm a Pisces, right? So on either side, I have Aquarius and Aries, right? So that's the flow when we go through the new year. So Aquarius season comes in February, then into Pisces season, then into Aries. So even though I'm a Pisces and I have Aquarius placements, I have an Aries Black Moon Lilith, as Kay does, I know as well. We're looking at the fact that as a Pisces, I have all the Saturnian energy of the people that come before me, but also that spunky vitality that comes with the Mars quality of Aries. So when you're looking at that, right, it's your moon signs being next to each other. That's where you can still feel the placements that come before or after that sign. So the way that you can look at that is if you get type in birth chart, birth chart example, or what would be the proper term. I mean, an Aries rising chart is going to make Aries the first of the chart, right? A 27-degree Aries sun, there you go. So you have more of the flavorings of your moon, right? So because you're a late degree Aries sun, it's leaning towards that Piscean energy. Yeah, I'm glad, Ghost. That's awesome. I love that. But yeah, so that's the short of that. I'll pause there. Hi, Paul. How are you? I'll pause there. Let me know if you guys have any other questions as I'm yapping away. How many steps have I done? I'm going to say 3,000. Oh, 2,700. I'm counting. But yeah, 27 degrees gets towards like there's 27, 28, 29. You don't have a 30th degree, but we have 0. If you have 0 degrees of anything in your chart, it's like the prime example of that sign. So if when you follow degree theory, which I didn't believe in degree theory, I was like, I have to really like look at this myself. And then I was like, no, degree theory tracks, like this actually makes sense. And then it made me realize how much degree theory is unspokenly woven into human design. Because what I've been trying to do is with human design, it's an amalgamation of a bunch of different systems, right? So astrology obviously being the one of them, however, Western astrology. So when we look at Western astrology and we're looking at the gates specifically in human design, so all those numbers that you see that are highlighted in your human design body graph, those represent a 5-degree window of astrological placements. So like a 27 degree Aries sun, I believe, is always going to be gate 25. I'm still committing them to memory. That's like my next like Scorpio. The good thing about Scorpio is that we never forget anything. We forget, but we don't necessarily forgive. There's always a prime grudge holders. I've had to work on grudges my whole life. And like learn how to let things go, be detached, all that fun shit that comes with those placements. However, the good part about, those placements and never forgetting is like the memory retention. So that's the next thing that I've been making flashcards as the nerd that I am to remember. All that to say, all of our gate placements are going to have a specific window. Similar to like if you've studied astrology enough and you're familiar with the word decans, it's like there's 6 decans instead of 3. And basically what that means is that when you're in Aries, in astrology, the degrees of Aries, the first 10, the second 10, and the third 10 are all broken down into different flavors of the other modalities. So this is a lot to say without like a chalkboard behind me. It's basically like if you have all of your planets, let's say we're looking at Aries, it's broken into 3 decans, and it has a flavor of the other, I forget right now if it's modalities or the other fire signs. I want to say it's modalities, like if you're, cardinal, fixed, or if anyone remembers that, correct me about that, but you saw, yes, oh my gosh, Deanna, that's so funny. We got one of those red-headed woodpeckers into the clinic the other day. When I was volunteering, he had gotten hit by a car and they had to sedate him, and he was a big ass bird. And it was funny because all his feathers on his head were spiked, and I thought he had red hair, and I asked the tech that was working on him to sedate him to give him an x-ray if I didn't know if it was blood because he got hit or if it was just his feathers, and it was his plumage, it was his feathers. It was really interesting. I want to book a reading with you, but curious how you're feeling with Uranus and Gemini. I feel good. You know why? Because I'm an Aquarius rising. So Aquarius for me, Uranus is one of my chart rulers. My Uranus is in the 12th house, so I've never gotten away with anything. Always having to like be aware of like chaos is a part of life. Like this is how I'm handling it. And Uranus and Gemini is transiting my 5th house. So I actually love it as a transit for me because I'm past my Saturn return. I'm 30, 32 and a half, 33. And basically, when I'm like looking at those transits specifically, I'm like, okay, how have I come with all of my connections of things into one place, right? So the more eloquent way that I can say that is like, what have I gone through in terms of life experience that have allowed me to enter into this transit more gracefully? I will also say that because Uranus is an outer planet, right? It's farther out in our galaxy. Uranus and Gemini we may not always feel it internally. If you have Uranus, like me, as your chart, one of your modern chart rulers, Scorpio is the traditional ruler of Aquarius. Uranus is my, it could be, yeah. I honestly, Bunny, think it has more to do with your Aries, because there's a lot of stuff in Aries right now, too. Also Scorpio, we just had a full moon in Scorpio, it rules the bowels. So if it's like your guts literally don't feel good, right? Like going to the bathroom a lot, if it's like that kind of not feeling well, that can also be Scorpio. But yeah, Megs, so I should have a few bookings left for today. If you want to do a live reading, I can pull up your chart, but also I have the private readings. Thank you, Elder. I have the private readings that are available on my website. It's brennakeely.com/readings, and that's all linked at the link in my bio. But yeah, Uranus and Gemini for me, it's in the 5th house. So it's like romance, making sure I don't get pregnant unexpectedly, taking those proper precautions. Creativity, right? So a lot of people, as you can see, have been asking me if I'm a fashion designer because I started sewing again for the first time in, over 10 years. I used to want to be a fashion designer. So creative thinking. I'm in a place where I'm like wanting to learn more information, Gemini being ruled by Mercury, and then our Mercury just went into Taurus. So it is a more grounded transit in that way right now. So and our outer planets again are not always what's happening to us internally, although we can look at it that way and we should look at it that way, but it's also about like the world is chaotic right now, right around us. So the short way to explain that is that from our sun, yes, Uranus Sag in the 5th house is natal. Okay, yes. And it's on your in your 11th house, Deanna, Uranus right now. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Listen, everything I learned, I would say I'm passing the baton. Deanna on my left-hand side just said, love that you've been studying degree theory. And it's helpful. It's like, let me look so I can give it to you guys too. Do this. I'm at 20% here. What was I going to say? Yeah, so our personal planets are anything from our sun sign, our sun, going in order of the solar system, our sun, our Mercury, our Mars, our Venus. What am I forgetting? Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars. Yeah, well, north node, south node, yes. Or our moon, of course, and our moon. Generational planets, which basically means like people that share the same birth year as us, because it's a slower transit because the planet is farther out in our solar system. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So when we say the Pluto and Scorpio generation, right? Me as an early 90s baby, most people that are born around the early 90s have Pluto and Scorpio because it's our farthest planet out in the solar system. So that's like where astronomy meets astrology and they kiss. So whenever you have a transit that's about an outer planet like Uranus and Gemini, unless it's like severely aspecting or the same degree, 93, there you go, severely aspecting your personal placements. Like let's say when Uranus and Gemini is at like 2 degrees and you have a 2-degree Gemini placement, that's when you're going to feel it. Or you have a 2-degree Pisces Sagittarius placement, because they also create squares or oppositions. I know I'm throwing a lot of information at you. I don't know how much feels like it's helpful for consumption, but I'm like, whatever feels like a good tidbit I can give, that would be helpful. I don't know everyone's exact level of understanding, but those are the way that I look at the transits and things along those lines. Thank you, Golden Boy. I appreciate that. You just can't, it's invisible. You just can't see it right now. But thank you. Yeah, your gut has been your teacher in this cycle. I love that. I love that so much. Yeah, Mercury and Taurus return. There you go. In gate 3, getting shit together, gate of order, getting our words in order. I've been trying to take more time to breathe and not use the word and as much as I can. I've been trying to practice that more so. We'll see how successfully, but sometimes I feel like I talk too fast. My brain doesn't give me a chance to have an But yeah, Megs, if you also want an hour with me, send me a DM and I'll give you the link so it's $99 instead of $150 if you wanted to do an hour with me. I'd be happy to do that for you guys today. I take an interest in studying space somewhat. There's a lot going on in the physical plane right now on this planet that we're all bound to, that like I'm not disinterested in space, but it's not it's not in my capacity. Okay, Angela, perfect. I'm just gonna make a note for myself. So after I get off, I'll send you the link so that you have it. But thank you. I'm excited to meet you. So being a fellow Saturn-ruled person like you, Angela, I always say my Capricorn risings, like we understand a level of intensity of life, that gives us that kind of grit and tenacity that not everybody understands. You as a Capricorn rising, when we use whole sign, is in the 3rd house. Pisces is your 3rd house. So it gives a watery, people don't expect, and this could be different because you have a lot of Aquarius, so it can be different. I'll have to look at your If you're an Aquarius sun, then you may be an Aquarius Mercury like me as well, or Pisces Mercury potentially, and I think it would go backwards to Sagittarius as well. So I think your Mercury cannot be more than one sign away from your sun sign, because again, we have the sun, then the Mercury is the first planet in the solar system, so it only orbits so far from the time you're born. So I think it's either you would have a Sag Aquarius or Pisces Mercury. However, all that to say that with your Pisces third house, you may have a hard time. Hi Mercury, how are you? Yes, exactly. Did you get let me know if you got my audio message or not, because I think it was you that booked the audio reading from me, and I sent it last week. I think it was like a day or two after you purchased it. So if you didn't get the email, it'll be in, okay, I'm so glad. Okay, yes, perfect. Thank you, I'm so glad. Because sometimes if it's the first time we're emailing and it's an attachment, Gmail doesn't like that, so it'll push it in spam. So I've had to tell people a couple times, like, check your spam. Yes, absolutely. I was just saying to people today, Mercury, that if you want to do an hour together, for people today that send me a DM, I'll send you a link to the 1 hour, so it makes it $99 instead of $150 for you guys. So if you want to take advantage of that, that link will stand until you book with it the one time. And then you have that so just send me a DM though, so I remember, where everyone can go. So send me a DM and just say, like, you could just say hi or send me emoji, but I'll know after this live, because I'll literally, after I sign off at 2, I'll go right in there and send it to you guys. And then I send you a recording also, because I find it cheap for when people book a whole hour and it's like, you didn't record this for me to listen to again and again, like what the hell is that? Because I need to listen to my readings, like when I get readings from other like practitioners or like little clips, I need to listen to the information like 3 times before it actually downloads into my brain. It goes too fast up here, and then we think about other questions after. But yeah, this is okay. You guys were chatting back and forth. I'm having a good that rarely. Oh, I'm glad you're having a good day, Ghost. Yeah, you're developing a new personality. I love that. Yes, me too. Well, then we can get into, like, when we have your chart and we have more time, I can get into more of like the nitty gritty details. Like I look at your earth placements to talk about what grounds you. It kind of depends. Like at the beginning of every session, I'm always asking, like, what is the thing that you're facing that feels like your biggest, hi Lewis, your biggest albatross, or something that just feels very heavy on your spirit. And what we'll do in a session is actually workshop that as an example, because like the teacher in me, the 1-3, is like, this isn't helpful if I don't actually use it in a way that practically applies to your life as it stands right now. And then once you get that concept, it'll help you to be able to apply that again and again. Like if I do my job correctly, great, see you guys in 6 months, like for a longer reading, see you in a year, see you for your solar return reading, like what a theme of the year, things like that. But yes, very Mercury and Taurus, it's so true. Yeah, Max, me too. I'm so excited to connect with you. I love, like, I've thought about being a therapist as well and doing all those things. Most days I feel like a therapist without the doctorate, although I'm very, firm in my boundaries of like, I'm not a therapist. I've seen a lot of mental illness, and I don't want to be like the woman Kendra who was on here, going through psychosis and people taking advantage of that with her therapist falling in love with her. TBT, I don't know if you guys saw that. But yeah, we're seeing an uptick in the mental health field, and it's so crazy because I wouldn't, me looking at this field, yes, and I got a lot of comments, back on my page because of her that were like, oh, you're the same as crazy Kendra and all those types of things, and I was like, no, like anyone, I said people could take a box of Cheez-Its and make a cult out of it and make that ruin the Cheez-It name or any other cheddar flavored cracker in the world. Like, don't take one person's, we don't claim her, exactly. We don't claim that energy. And, listen, like, anyone that has ever dealt with somebody that has had psychosis or mania, I have a brother that has borderline personality disorder, it very well. And so I was automatically like, oh, this is going to be like a shit fucking show, not in a like, I'm so happy somebody else is getting the negative attention. It's like, no, like this is bad. And not people who have not seen psychosis like up close and personal don't necessarily know what to do with that, because what's confusing about psychosis, this is a semi-tangent, but it's important for this space. What people don't understand about psychosis is that it's very confusing when you're looking at somebody that's going through it, because they 1,000% believe in what they're talking about. So for her, it's not like where you think like, oh, if I was going through something like that as somebody who doesn't deal with it, you're like, I'm able to tell because I know the signs of that person lying. But it's hard when somebody's in psychosis because you can see, like, they're so sure of themselves that if you're somebody that's not confident or isn't informed in those areas, you're going to take what they see as true as your truth, right? So there was another woman going around that was dealing with the same thing, and she's talking about, it's Jackson, Mississippi girl. If you look her up, you'll see Jackson MS girl. And she was saying like, okay, so Garrett Hicks and Malik from San Antonio, Texas are hacking into my phones. I don't know, this is very niche if you guys have seen it. Niche meaning like not everyone has had this cross in their For You page. And you can see that she's going through it. So people that are informed, right, are in the comments not trying to tell her that she's wrong, but they're saying, hey, we believe you. You know, if you go, I had something like that happen to me. If you go to the ER, they'll be able to help you, right? Or like if you tell your parents or if you tell a loved one, like they should be able to help you. Now, with what I can say without my lives glitching out and me still being able to talk to you for the next half hour uninterrupted, I'll say that as somebody who has a loved one in that space many times before, you have to be dotting your I's and crossing your T's until lovely people like Meg are in that space, should they wish to take on that role, that actually have like a fresh mindset and a care for their patients, because it's very easy for people to get lost in those systems too. So, you know, people commenting like that online when you see somebody in psychosis is a way to aid in that from the best of the ability of doing what you can with what you have where you are. But yeah, there's so much I could say about that too. But yeah, exactly. Early AI days, it could send folks into spiritual psychosis 1,000%. I was just talking about this with Anna, who's one of my Patreon members, friends, projectors, colleagues that is in this space as well. Thank you, Dan. And we were saying how with Uranus and Gemini and everything, it's like the biggest thing I can tell you guys when you're online, like question what you see, like the videos, like truly question, like, what is it that you're perceiving? Like there was a video I was talking about last week. I can't remember if it was on YouTube or also on TikTok, but one of my live streams. And there was a cruise ship video that got like 1 million likes and millions of views and a bunch of people sharing it and all these comments. But the video was of an AI cruise ship. It wasn't real. And it was all of these, context clues. Like now AI has gotten more advanced. Remember the head and the hands and the feet you saw be wonky? Now they figured that out a little bit. But if you look at like, okay, a glass falls over and it has liquid in it, and then you realize that like there's no liquid spilled out, like those are that you really have to get very analytical about what it is that you're seeing right now. And it's just good from a Scorpio moon herself, like you really have to, and I'm a gate 63 Pisces sun, so that's the gate of doubt. So I always enter into something with a level of skepticism. I've had to learn how to play that line appropriately, because people will sometimes take it as like I'm offending them, but I'm like, no, it's us figuring out this problem together. We have to analyze the problem to be able to assess what the issue is here, not like me going in and saying like, these are all the reasons that you suck or things that you did bad. And I've learned over time in reading for a lot of people, one line, I'm an 11 degree Pisces sun, excuse me. So it's an Aquarian degree, 11 degrees. So if you have 11 degrees, it's a Saturn ruled degree, which is, I'm an Aquarius rising, so it bounces back and forth. But that's how you get your profile. So Mercury, if you're looking at your human design body graph, and there was, I think, Angela, you had commented as well, so I'll go back in a second. But to finish my thought, so when you're looking at your human design body graph, Mercury, on the right-hand side, your profile, and Bunny, this is good because you're 2-4, your top right-hand side, right? It's going to say, like, for me, it's a 63.1 because I'm a 1-3. We read it like right to left, like the Torah, right? So right to left. I'm a 1-3 profile. It's like reversed. Personality side is the conscious side. We also see that in some charts is either conscious or personality is the, or no, right? Am I doing it? Yeah. Unconscious design side is the left-hand side. So anything from my chart generator, it's black and red. on the right-hand side in black, things we're more aware of, things that cross over with our Western astrology natal chart. On the left-hand side, it's a chart that's like our soul's purpose, the things we have to go through life experiences to understand in this lifetime based on lived life experiences. We don't come here necessarily being cognizant of those things. So then that'll be your second number in the fraction that is your profile. Hi Afro, how are you? So for me that's 3 because I'm a 1-3. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I'm a good person to ask all the questions for, so like write down all your questions that you have and I'll answer them in rapid fire as quickly as possible when we meet. I'm like, okay, let's go, let's get all the questions. I did do, and I will send it out on my email list, but I did do a class about the degrees in astrology. Write that down. No, I don't know anyone or anything from Kenya, unfortunately. I've not had the pleasure. I'm good, thank you. Do you believe me when I say this, but I've been thinking about the thought of psychosis all day long. I do believe you. Hi, Faisal. And how habitual thoughts can lead your subconscious into that. It's true. Well, our thought loops become mantras for us, right? It's like, if you keep saying, I'm worthy, I'm worthy, I'm worthy, I'm worthy, you ingrain that in your cells. Like your body then defaults, your brain then defaults to that if you obsess over that thought. If you have a lot of Scorpio, if you have a lot of Taurus, if you have a lot of Aquarius, if you have a lot of Leo, if you have a lot of Libra or Virgo or Gemini, I know that feels like basically everybody. Start obsessing over the good things, okay? Especially as a Scorpio, we could dig our claws into anything like a motherfucker, okay? Like really get in there and it takes one to know one, right? I have this placement. So I had to learn to obsess over the things that were good for me, not obsessing over the things I can't control. Virgo Chiron. Hello 93 baby, hello 94, hello 95 babies. I have a lot of you guys that have that placement too. So it's about that, like, obsess about how good it can get. You have to train your brain to think that way because the powers that be, the energy around us doesn't necessarily celebrate obsessing about the good things because then you become empowered. Empowered people that are strong can fend for themselves, right? So if you're in that vein, read between the lines of what I'm saying a little bit there too. Only, again, so much that I could say. I am aware, gate 2028 things, these platforms, we have to play like a game. I am aware that I don't own them. I am merely a renter in somebody else's apartment, if you will, right? So like, we can get mad about the things that we can or can't say, or you can learn the rules of the game and figure out other ways to connect with your people more than just these places. Also important to think about if you want to prioritize being in entrepreneurial business online. Pick your spots. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm so glad you're two prioritizing reading this month. I'm so excited. I know, I love talking to you about all these things. Okay, guys, yeah. Okay, you guys are chatting. Okay. I do that a lot. Yes, when good things happen, I say, I deserve it. Yes, exactly. And it's like deserving it from that place of, control. Well, if we create our own reality, then wouldn't both options be true? Kevin, were you talking to me or the guys in the chat? Because I don't remember what I said. This is what Deanna, I was saying to Deanna, because I met with Deanna for a reading last month, just a couple weeks ago. And people will say things that like I've said in a live, and I'm like, oh, did I say that? I don't even remember. Like that thing. Oh, Cancer, Chiron, 12th house. Oh, I'm sorry. That's rough. It's like your thought loops also. 12th house can be the obsessive things. Like 12th house can also rule, like, it's the archetype of like jails and imprisonment. So it's like prisons of our mind, prisons of our heart. Like when you're in prison, you don't got much to do, but think and eat and, work out in your cell. So it's like the things that are the entrapments of your mind are important. Also hidden enemies, mom, Cancer's the mom. Yeah. So it's a lot of that, or being wounded by your femininity, having to learn how to tap into your femininity again, your softness, being forced to be more challenged younger, things like that. I think I missed a question from Angela earlier, so let me try to go back to. The most beloved deeds of Allah are those that are most consistent, even if they are small. I love that. Thank you, Golden Boy. This job that suits you, in my opinion. I was presenting the news bulletin. That is true. Hello, and today on the Astrological Forecast, my name is Brenna Keeley. I could put on a newscaster voice really well, actually. Oh, maybe I wasn't looking at the right thing. Oh, Angela, in a printout I have, it says my Mercury's in Capricorn in the 6th house. Ooh, that's so interesting. Do you get a lot of sore throats? Or do you ever get to get your tonsils taken out at an interesting time? 6th house is like our Kimberly, hi. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. You look so much. Oh, Kimberlyn, excuse me. I'm saying Kimberly because there's a Kimberly I went to high school with that is close friends with one of my close friends, and your profile pictures, I was like, oh, you remind me so much of Kim. But Saturn and Taurus in the 12th. Yeah, I mean, that also having to be disciplined about your money, about what you eat. I would be curious to know if you have any food allergies. A lot of like stubbornness. I know, I'm sorry. My name's Brenna. I've gotten Greta over the phone. So I have somebody that is a volunteer with me at this animal sanctuary rehab that I volunteer at, that now calls me Greta after I told her that. So I put the information in the wrong hands. And it's like quick, like I get Brenda all the time too, because we don't take the time. So I'm like, I can't get offended because I know I do the same thing to people. But yeah, like honestly though, with Saturn in your 12th house, 7th house is your open enemies, like people who are more obviously not for you. Oh yeah, I'm a Scorpio moon too, in the 10th though. But Saturn in your 12th is also, and Scorpio moon, like you don't even have to worry about revenge because like the trash takes itself out. Like you don't have to lift a finger because like they're like, you've been through enough shit. We've actually got this for you. Don't worry about it. We'll handle them. And they say like, so it's like if you, let's say somebody wronged you, right? 12th house Saturn. An example of that could be like you're waiting to see somebody post something dramatic about like what, I don't know, like what's going wrong, or like waiting for the external instant gratification. And maybe it's that like, okay, the person that was posting every day after they've wronged you. Oh yeah, so many yeah, that's so annoying, isn't it? I feel like it's also a Scorpio moon thing. Like I've had that too. So that would mean that you are a Gemini rising. Yeah, it's like the drama mask. Like, I think the biggest thing I could say too for you as a Gemini rising, and I noticed this with a lot of you guys, is that having to have friends that like almost like don't always cross-pollinate, and like you have friends that like you get close with within boundaries. Like that's just my friend that I go work out with, but it's okay that like we only text about when we're meeting at the gym, or that's my friend that I go to yoga with, or that's my friend that I, you know, go to the store with. Like you kind of have those like friends that pop up, right? Yeah, oh my gosh, I can imagine. It's nice though, because it'll be like, I feel like the best question that you can wake up and ask yourself every single day is like, what can I, like, how can you surprise me today for my benefit, universe, or God, whatever you want to say. How can you surprise me today? Like, what's the exciting thing that you could be? What do you think of 12th house Mercury in Taurus? So it's interesting. I feel like if I had to talk about your evolution, super chatty when you were young, realized that you exposed yourself and said things that you didn't want to say out loud, so then you became really introverted and quiet, and now you're figuring out how to talk again, but like in the right way, in your right voice, and learn about strategy. I think you, like me, would really like Robert Greene in the 48 Laws of Power, and do with that information what you will. I'm also intuitive, so I feel like I'll just hear something. Hi, Ethan. Bye, Siddharth. Yeah, it's like that kind of, it's like battle strategy is the best thing I could say. Listen, all my Scorpio, all my 11 degrees, I have some 22 degrees, kill or be killed. I talked about degrees a little bit in your audio. I just don't remember what audio or what degrees you had. Mercury. Makes sense that you don't use your government name. So like I'm consciously, because I saw it on your like intake, if you will, I'm like, I have certain people, I'm like, I don't want to use their government name. So I'm like, I have clients, one client I have had for 3 years now, she's a projector. I've done a lot behind the scenes with her in terms of like talking, and I'm like, I know your government name, but I'm never even in a session going to call you that because I don't want to make the mistake. Yeah, things along those lines I could say. Thank you, Ethan. I appreciate that. That's so cute. Thank you. I'm taking the homework seriously. I love that. The transformative time is so relaxing, like a personal mind retreat. I love that. Retreat mindset. I love that. Yeah, I would say like anything that's in the 12th house are the things that we become aware of over time. I have Uranus in the 12th house, which is one of my chart rulers. So I am aware of like I've never was really aware. I knew that people responded to me differently. Like I always felt like the odd person out as a kid. I went to private school, then the private school only went up to 3rd grade. I was a transfer student. So I was like always kind of like the best way I could describe it is I was everybody's friend, but no one was my best friend. And I didn't realize what that because Uranus is like can be what makes us unique. And there's a lot of times I still feel that way, although I realize like my definition of friendship is not having like 48 bridesmaids next to me at the altar, but like really good one-on-one connections. I know. I feel like, again, Aquarius rising, Aquarian placements were always the underdog. So it's that type of vacation, enjoy. Where are you traveling to? Or where are you now? But Uranus in the 12th house is like, it took a while for me to see my uniqueness and how much I brought to the table. And so I had a lot of people, Pisces, Venus things, that have always tried to take advantage of my kindness. And then when I didn't overgive to them in a way that was appropriate for them, yes, exactly, the black sheep, like they got mad at me. So what's weird about my placements is that I have a very large capacity to give for other people. And with my 12th house placements, right, and that energy, which sits opposite my Cancer, so it's the story of the mother and the father. With Aquarian placements, it's almost like our placements act as the opposite of what they're supposed to be. So in my Capricorn 12th houseness, there's a lot of Cancerian mother energy. So what I had to understand about myself, which is part of my discovery with astrology, is that I had to understand what people saw in me that I did so naturally, which I think is why honestly most of us come here anyway. We feel misunderstood, we're not happy in something, so we seek out explanations. So California, nice, have so much fun. Oh my gosh, of course it is. Hi Cassandra, happy Saturday, almost a happy birthday. I'm in the United States. So you can always tell by the size of my water bottle and the fact that I have a cowgirl hat as my water bottle cover, so I'm American. But yeah, so people get a lot of my clients, which I've had to work on, are people who come and pull up my pants like, mommy, why aren't you paying attention to me? Mommy, answer me now, mommy. I want to hear. And I'm like, oh, shut the fuck up. And then when I respond like that, people are like, oh my God, like mommy's mad at me, but I still love her. So I'm going to ask her questions anyway. So it's been that weird interplay and people like not even being conscious of the reason that they do it. But in this place, right? It's like that Stewie Family Guy, mommy. I know where it comes from and I know how to handle it now. So it's not that I have totally changed that dynamic in terms of how people confront me, but I know how to correct the toddler behavior. I'm not that and I don't say that to be like intentionally condescending, but it's more so like I'm aware that there's an interplay there and there's a dynamic there. So I am responsible for, now that I'm aware of it and I hold this knowledge, with great power comes great responsibility. Like I have to do something with that, right? So because when I'm with somebody and I answer someone's question, I'm like, we're the only two people that exist right now. And you have to remember that if you want to do this for work, right? I had a TikTok mutual ask for a donation of $100 especially. You're like, I'm $100 out away from needing a $100 donation back. Yeah. See, like, there's so much I could say about this. It's like the formula scam. You know, guys going up to people in CVS saying, I need formula for my kid. Then they go and they try to sell the formula. People who have the audacity, there's so much I could say about that. Most people that are actually struggling and are smart enough to know what to do about it there's a lot of scammers. Empty drums make the most noise. I could say a lot about that. However, before I answer, Kimber, your question, I share my experience because it's helpful for you guys to think about this in your own chart. Like, I know this about my chart because I'm so locked in 1-3 things with my person. You get my attention. People interpret that as me being like that all the time and not understanding that I have to be so fucking strict with my program about when I answer people and how I answer them because I love to be intentional with my people. So, but when somebody isn't used to being seen by the people that are in their lives, that they're married to, that they're related to, right? The people that should inherently do those things, but they don't in their life, when they see someone like me and like you, that's a stranger, that sees them so clearly, right? That can become very toxic and obsessive very quickly. So you have to have that awareness as a practitioner of this work to know. Healing plug, I know you know this very well. Perfect moment. You have to be very intentional of those boundaries. And listen, Pisces sun here. You think I had those to begin with and knew what the fuck I was doing 10 years ago when I first started? Hell no. You know how many things I did for free? And it was so embarrassing. I was like, oh God, like pick Misha in the words of Shira 7. But no, you know, I'm half joking. There's a little truth to every joke. But I just wasn't interested in being a people pleaser anymore. The merging was very real. Very, very, very real. In real life, did that translate to stalking for you? Have I ever been? No, I wouldn't get stalked in person. I think because I'm like 5'8" and I'm relatively strong and I don't walk around looking like I don't know what I'm doing. My dad was from Flatbush, Brooklyn. You know, my grandparents were in orphanages. So I do have a level of street smarts that like when I'm out in person, like I'm nice right now, but I look like I could be a problem. Like I'm very aware of like, no, I will beat your ass. Like I will tussle. I'm not like a cute little like, you know, like how, like I can code switch like that energetically. So I feel like that comes with being a Northeasterner, that like I'm nice until you're not. If I feel any type of way, like there was a guy that was walking across me when I was going in to run into the grocery store, and you know, wasn't looking at my phone. I'm looking at the door. I'm not looking at the ground. I'm not tripping over myself. My legs take up 75% of my body. Oops. Let me know if you guys can hear me. So Queen of Swords energy. Oh yeah. Oh. I got some like violation for some reason, but I probably because I was saying the S word out loud. I don't remember I haven't had that word out loud before. Yeah, exactly. Northeasterner, you know. You know, I went to school in the Bronx. Like I was living in Manhattan. Like that comes with a level of energy. Like you know, again, I'm nice until you're not. So, have I had people that like to obsess and like to feign stalker energy? Yes, but I also know that like I have a lot of, I'm very open, but I'm also in transparency out of myself right now. I'm very good at making people feel like they know a lot about me while also knowing like maybe 12% of what's actually going on in my life. So you have to, especially online, right? Like discernment, internet security, things along those lines. Like I'm aware of everything that's about me out on the internet. I have $5 million in insurance if everyone tried some type of shit. I have friends that are lawyers. I have family that are lawyers, you know? So it's like, I'm open because I know what I can do if anyone tried to do anything in the opposite way, right? You want my phone number? Look how scary it can get for you, okay? So like, I don't lead with that, right? But I am nice because I know I have those defenses in my background. And that's also what I'm sharing. What are the things that I'm not sharing? You know, so it's like we all have that capacity to do so. And especially on the internet, it's important to have that, especially as a woman. So I'm very serious about that whenever somebody like comes in a little green, right? Comes in a little naive, and it's like you have to really pick and choose your spots because there's a lot of fucked up people. If you've ever spent time as a millennial on chat roulette or rotten.com, remember that one? You're like, no, I know what the world can be like, and how it's still in our big age of 2026. There's a lot of people, right? There's a lot of people that can do shit like that to other people. You think the U.S. is violent? Go to Egypt by yourself without a tour guide. As a woman by herself, one block over where you're not supposed to go, right? So like those are the types of things you have to think about. Every place has its good and its bad, but like that's the transparency we actually need to be talking about. Spicy Pisces things, but yeah, Pisces 0 degrees, Moon in Aries. Oh my gosh. Well, there's a lot, Matthew, of the things that I'm saying right now that are helpful. Yeah, learn from me. You don't tell anyone anything if they don't need to know. 1,000%. And like, don't like, if you tell other people your plans before they're ready, like that's why people get so upset when they tell people what they're gonna, I think a lot that's not talked about enough, internet safety, especially on YouTube. It's so much easier for people to hide. And I'm like, I'm aware of how I come across now because I spend a lot of time sitting with myself, studying myself, which is what I want you guys to do too. Yeah, exactly. That's how I look. I look nice, but when you talk bad to me, it's chaos. Exactly. My two truths and a lie. One of them was that I stopped a Foo Fighters concert because I thought someone hit my ex-boyfriend, and let's just say I caused a scene, okay? And the concert stopped and the lights turned back on and that guy got dragged back out with the rest of the crowd. Yes, a man, okay? So like I've been in situations, and that's like the lighter one of the situations that I've been in before. So like again, when you guys see that intensity that I have and like you sound really nice, but I know that there's something else behind there, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I'm not afraid of sticking up for myself. I don't seek out confrontation. Chat roulette was crazy, I know. I don't seek out confrontation. Mars in the first house, but I know how to defend myself should it arise. Exactly, as if on Q Social. It's so true. Aquarius things, we always look mean, but it's so true. It's just like I'm not interested. Okay, yes, exactly. Yeah, Mars and Aries, listen, it's so true. I'm like, I always tell people, like, you should, like, please use that phrase. I'm nice until you're not. Then we're gonna have a problem, right? Yeah, so Mars, oh, there you go, Mars the first house. Okay, let me go back. But yeah, I did have, like, once a year, because I was nice to everybody in school, and, like, I knew what it was like to be the new kid, you know, at 11, 12 years old and going to a new school. Like I always had an interest Aquarius things, like making other people feel seen. And I would get people that I was like, oh, I made the wrong person feel seen, you know, or the person that like, again, it was like that, I wouldn't say stalker as much as obsessive, although it very easily would turn to stalker if I didn't have that, again, like that code switch is the best way I could think to say it, right? Like, you know, like when you hit that, like I have, like, again, I'm nice until you're not. I have that threshold for making people feel seen, but it's like always. I had like some guy when I was working in insurance that would always follow me around the shop, literally half my size, grown man, half my size. And he would just like keep asking me for my number, you know, like could barely communicate like with me. Speaking a different language, and I was like, you have to stop fucking asking me, like, you know, like I literally you could climb me like a tree, you know, not my forte, to each their own, but not for me, but like shut the fuck up, like, you know, like just enough, like stop. So like those kinds of things where it's like obsessive but not stalker, it's like flee, like go away. You're just annoying, like itch on my ass, like that type of shit. Okay, I officially digress. This is there'll probably be more questions that are about this. Yeah, Sun in Pisces, 0 degrees, Moon Aries in the 11th, rising Gemini, and Mercury, or rising is Gemini, and you have a Mercury Gemini. Yeah, I mean, I think like you know the game of manipulation very well, Matthew. I feel like you would also like 48 Laws of Power. Manipulation, I also don't always see. Bye, Mercury, I'll talk to you soon. Doesn't always have to be a bad thing, right? It's knowing how to use it as like, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. Like being in the right hands, in the right way, in the right time is important. So like having those placements, especially Uranus is with your Mercury, also your mind moving very fast so I can keep up with how fast I'm shitting things out right now. But like, being able to focus on what you say. Your words have power. Don't argue just for the sake of arguing, especially at a 0 degrees of Pisces. Like it is what gives you that sensitivity. Like don't live up to the Pisces man stereotype. It's very easy to find videos about that here too. But I think you have some redeeming qualities that could cause a little bit of balance. But a lot of that mutable, because there's a square there, can cause a little bit of issues too. Thank you, Afro. But yeah, Aries, Mars, yeah, exactly, Mars and Aries too. Yes, yeah, chat roulette. I could see so many things about it. Yeah, oldest child, helper to others, 1,000%, 1,000%. Mars and Chiron, Cancer. It's weird. Yeah, I think it's like your action is to help, but I feel like when Chiron is conjunct, it's like it's almost like every time you help people, you get burned in a weird way, having to take those things seriously. Yeah, I just would be curious what your interplay with your parents was with those placements too. Like, I don't know. I have a person that I knew that was a Leo rising that was adopted, and that also caused some issues, right? In terms of like feeling unwanted, but people telling you that you're wanted, but like you really have to pay attention to people's actions. Yeah. Yeah, as a child, I love to push people's buttons as close as I could before they blew. Yeah, I get a couple of those over on YouTube. I have some teenagers that are like that are like, and I think it's realizing, right? Like, yes. Well, because you became aware that you wanted to be known for more than just getting in trouble. It's with those placements too, similar to Leo and Cancer risings, you guys can have like any press is good press. So like, even if people are talking badly to you or they're yelling at you, and it's negative, you don't care because you're getting attention, which is probably what you wanted as a kid. Like people were in your life that should have given you proper attention, weren't doing so in the right way. That's great that you're in a hurry, but I'm not. So I will answer when I have capacity because I'm dual streaming at the same time. Thank you though. So Matthew, I would also take into consideration like knowing that you have been through those experiences, like how can you teach other people how to do that too? Oh yeah, that's right. Yes. 13 and 17, excuse me. Yeah. Yeah, that's also a Pisces thing too. Also Pisces. I wonder, February Pisces. Yeah, it's interesting. I think because as an early degree Pisces, right, you lean more towards Aquarius. So there is that Saturnian influence over your sun. But yeah. I mean, if you like wanted to be a professor, like, you know that you like to communicate, right? So how can you communicate in a way that feels aligned and sustainable for you? Not that you're saying you do this now, but just to compare to childhood, right? It's like, I want to say almost like the mom friend override, but it's very like professorly. Like if you wanted to like teach for a few classes, but more so it's like office hours and having more passionate conversations, like evolving to like PhD level, you also could focus on that too. I think I was saying to, I forget who was the Gemini rising I was talking to earlier, but like really picking and choosing, who, like, you don't have to have a best friend for everything all the time. Not everything has to be, not everyone has to be your bestie. I would say taking the time to say like, okay, this is my friend that I just do this thing with, and this is my friend I just do this thing with, and some friends I do everything with, or my partner, or, you know, what have you. Learning those, how to divide your attention between many different people. Gemini needs a lot of stimulation. So instead of over talking to one person about the same thing, that could kind of be like info dumpy sometimes. Like it could be, I'm laughing because dumpy, whatever, I'm just being childish. But basically when you have that urge to talk a lot at somebody, remember that it's not always helpful, and that if you want more authentic connection, it should be a dialogue, not a monologue. And finding the way that you can seek out people to divide the informational load for yourself and other people. But again, Pisces also can be that you learn to talk less as an overcompensation for your childhood. So that's why, like, someone was asking me earlier about the best rising sign or the strongest sign. And it's not a matter of who's stronger, but like nature versus nurture, right? It's like not all Gemini risings are going to be created equal, because you could be raised in an environment that suppressed your communication. I hope your move went well and that you're enjoying it, or that like it needed to be amplified. I'm doing well. Yes, because the second full moon this month is called the blue moon, once in a blue moon. So that's the blue moon terminology. Yeah, 15 years ago, listen, even if I became, I'm fulfilled now, but I always am open to how great it could get, right? Oh God, I have a nightmare roommate, so it's been tough. I'm sorry to hear that. That's so annoying. Ugh. And then, sorry, I'm just writing I don't want to forget that thought in my brain. Yeah. My roommates are no fun. I was on Ask Anything Reddit thread last night because I like to read and be nosy about what people's problems are out in the world before I went to bed. And my husband and I were scrolling through and a couple people, were talking about like how to handle nightmare roommate situations, and someone that was literally like going to the bathroom like in the shower. Not number one either, and it was like, I was like, what a full moon in Scorpio, like time to ask that question. And it's like, you're like, I didn't even think that people would think to do that, like until you live with other people. But I would, if you can, if I were you, being a spiritual person that's growing in your spiritual practice, hi Ash, I would encourage you to look into like a shoebox apartment, because a shoebox apartment that gives you peace is better than a 2-bedroom with room with a demon. As you know, you're like, yeah, bitch, I know that. Like, I don't need to be told. But if you can, I would look into that. Yeah, 1,000%. And Women's Unite in Chicago, that's the thing that my cousin was a part of that I was telling you when you were in the right before you moved, when you were in the process of moving. So I'm sorry. I mean, I'm assuming mental illness has a lot to do with that too. But listen, women's domestic violence shelters, DV shelters, I don't know what I can say. Like, DV shelters can also be a place to look for you. Yeah. Schizophrenia? Borderline? That's what it feels like. Me and my dad and stepmom started the Lord of the Rings marathon. Good! That's amazing. I've only seen the first one. I have to catch up. Good, yeah. I think I would ask them about a restraining order. I don't know. It's not legal advice, right? Yeah, it feels like that. I would, you could change your doorknob to have a key for it, not just, it's something. But I would also ask about a restraining order because, so my husband was studying for a while to be a cop, and I have a couple cops in my family. And from my understanding, depending on the state, if you file a police report, okay, yeah, or a restraining order, good, okay. Yeah, like a nanny cam teddy bear situation. Okay, good. Then they actually, I think, are the ones that have to leave, even if you share the same address. Okay, good. I was gonna say, I have another client that's actually a cop in Chicago. I'll go back and if I look through, yeah, my cousin would know though also. Yeah, okay, yeah. So I'm sorry, Jesus Christ. Ugh, I'm so sorry. Like, great, I went here for peace and I have more problems. There's a TikTok audio. Yeah, my concern, if you file a restraining order for people like that, especially not somebody that has like a vested interest in you, is that they, like the retaliatory aspect. Yeah, like, cause I don't know, obviously, if you're like in an apartment that has a door to a door to a door, or if it's like, obviously I don't know that situation, but like if they restraining order, they had to go. Okay. Wow. Oh my God. Yeah, but I only know I have a friend that dealt with some DV stuff, and she got placed in government assisted housing, and when she was arrested in her last and of course it's after. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the manipulative part. Like I said earlier, you weren't on for this, but my brother has borderline personality disorder. He was first diagnosed with bipolar, and it's like they know how to play the fiddle and really like manipulate until they can let it unleash. It's like the kid that goes to school and holds it together all day for their parents, and then they let it all out at home because their parents are their safe space. Yeah, exactly. Which is fucked up because, like I was just saying earlier, like about how much of the psychosis stuff, they actually believe what they have going on. And what's confusing is that, like, there was a video not too long ago, and this was more like, the psychosis mania vein. There was a woman that came up to 2 girls that were smelling candles and home goods, and she was like, when I was Queen of Scotland, we actually had sand timers that we could write with pens. And you're like, what? Like, because like what they said sounds like, yeah, that makes sense. But then you're like, those words don't make like any sense strung together. And it's like that type of behavior. So I'm sorry that you're dealing with that, but it'll definitely, talk about a way to enter into street smarts. Yeah, exactly. I was saying that earlier. It was like we summoned you into our group meeting here today because I was talking about the girl, Kendra. Sing to me, Pablo. Kendra, and how, she was the lady that was the ADHD coach using astrology and human design, and she was going through active psychosis because she said that her therapist, like, fell in love with her, and you know, that whole thing. And how what's confusing is that if you haven't dealt with anyone that is manic or deals with mania or psychosis before, you are like, you think that something's wrong with you, right? Because like, you're like, oh, I know that you understand yourself, but like, I am trying really hard and it like seems really normal, but like, this doesn't make sense. So I wish that that was like another thing that we got. Yeah, I understand. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, it's very disheartening. You know, my dad was just in a rehab for a long story, and he has a version, which I told you, a version of Parkinson's that looks a lot like ALS plus dementia is what it's like. Yeah. And I'm someone who gives a fuck and is there, you know, and you have, people love to, and I won't say this, people don't love to always do this, but you think that when you go to a place that is known to help you, that you can surrender to them doing what they're supposed to do. But people are overworked, underpaid, stressed out, don't deal with their own problems properly, so they take them out at work for people that they believe they're never going to see again, oftentimes in the medical field. And it's like, you really have to realize that you have to become empowered to be your own best advocate. It's exhausting in the beginning, but once you care to inform yourself about all the things that you need to know, you have to, people don't want to believe it, but that is a victim's mentality. When you surrender to being, oh, the hospital should just help me. Too bad, so sad. It unfortunately doesn't always happen like that. I'm making a joke, TikTok, haha, we're not talking about real life. I just have to say that because I have some restriction now. But like, you have to dot your I's and cross your T's, and it's a game that we're pawns in, so I will learn the game to know how to play the game of life right back, right? So, gracias. Yeah, it's just, there's so much I could say, but I mean, you're doing everything that you can, the right people you need to know, right? Like you're telling the right people that you need to know, and you're working with people to the best of your capacity. So, you know, it's, yeah, you're dealing with anxiety and depression. Ethan, you're right there with the best of them. And it's so, because I think you're younger than me, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I want to say you're like a teenager, early 20s, if I had to guess. I don't remember if you told me or if I'm just like getting that vibe. Yeah, of course, it's going to take, but Julia, allow it to take all of your energy. And if it's just your normal job, like, phone it in to the best of your ability. Be okay with like saying like, hey, I'm dealing with this, manager. I'm doing the best that I can, right? And like, do enough just to not get fired and, you know, move forward. But it's okay that you're not perfect at everything right now. You're not supposed to be. You have to be on for that. Yeah. And I was saying this, Ethan, for you as a teenager, that because of your generation, like my generation, I'm a millennial, so I'm like old enough to be your teacher in school. And I remember this dynamic very well, even though it's a lot of adults will look at you and be like, you know, forget very easily of what it's like to be a kid. Because for your parents' age, you know, doing an average of being a teenager, how old your dad and your stepmom probably are, it's so much more incredibly different from how your parents were raised and to how you were raised. So there is a disconnect. I feel like us millennials can help like put words to, thank you, Bunny, to your vocabulary. And I was saying how like, because you guys grew up with phones, right? Like I remember my life, like when I got my first smartphone when I was in middle school, but you always knew phones. So you always know a level of like being perceived when, as a millennial, I know how to play that game, right? So like you're always aware of being perceived and being perceived as cringe, which is really fucking annoying. And I'm sorry that society has that structure in place. What it's also done is made you incredibly aware of a lot of things at an incredibly young age. So you're dealing with anxiety and depression because probably, if I had to guess, obviously I'm not your doctor, so I can't officially diagnose you with anything, but societally speaking, you're aware of a lot of political things that you are aware that you can't do anything about, right? And then people are making you feel like you have to have an opinion about everything all the time, and that you're not allowed to just be a teenager and to just do all the fun things that comes with just being a teenager, right? And 2026 with whatever year of high school you're in, you know, or maybe middle school, I don't know. So the biggest thing I can say to you is to, if anyone tries to push you to talk about something political, I deal with this all the time, or talk about something that you don't want to talk about at a specific time, you can literally say, like, this is not the time and place for me to talk about that, or whatever sounds like Ethan's words to say that. Like, I don't really want to talk about that right now. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to give the ability to let other people know that they don't have to talk about everything at a level 10 all the time, because not everybody does. And there's also nothing we can do about it, right? So yeah, as a friend, that hurt me. And listen, you're at that point in time where it's like you are learning how to not expect you out of every person, right? It's same for us adults. We can't talk about everything that's negative all the time. Doesn't mean that it goes away, doesn't mean we're ignoring it or sweeping it under the rug, but like you're with friendships, right? And that being the direction of things that you're talking about, you are learning, again, to not expect you out of other people. Not everybody's gonna act the way that you do, right? Unfortunately, you can lead by example, but not everyone is gonna follow your example or follow your lead, unfortunately. I, in my 30s now, have friends that hurt me, right? That still do, that still have, right? But the cycle time gets quicker. You learn, this is the time that you're supposed to remember these things. You allow yourself to wallow, allow yourself to feel hurt by it, but know that you'll never make that same mistake twice with the same intensity. Have I made some of the same mistakes twice with trusting people that I shouldn't have? Absolutely. But I started to know, okay, when somebody does this, this means that this happens. When somebody talks badly about somebody else that they're friends with to me, I know that that means that person's also talking about me to other people. So you're in that, it's uncomfortable and it's not always fun, right, to go through those things, but I promise you that you're not dealing with anything that isn't normal, right? It's just you're in that process of growing into being a young adult that's learning how to deal with those things simultaneously. And I'm sorry, because it doesn't mean that it's fun. But yeah, any last minute questions before I sign off to the day? I'm going to hang out with my husband and give him some attention. I have Angela, Meg's, Mercury that I'm all DMing. I said today, if you guys wanted to spend an hour with me, send me a DM and I will send you a $99 link so that it's discounted at $99 instead of $150 for us to meet together. But yeah, Julia, if you're still here, I'm sorry. Yeah, Ethan, I'm glad I could help. Just know that, like, I went through a lot of those things too. I was bullied in elementary school, when I was going through a really hard time and nobody knew. But yeah, Bunny, it was so nice to connect with you. Absolutely. I'll be back next Saturday. Same time, same place. I go live Tuesdays, maybe some Fridays, but I also go live on Tuesdays on YouTube. So I will be back. But it was so nice to talk with you guys. Just me sitting on the roof learning so much from you. I'm happy to help in any way that I can. Listen, these are what these conversations are about, and it's the reality of life. And I think a lot of us, myself included, are, we're like, what's actually something real that's going to help me with my real life problem? And that's what I was always searching for. So I'm happy to be that person in the way that I can in my small corner of the world, in any way that I can, make that impact. So I will say goodbye to my TikTok crew first. I did dual stream, so if you guys wanted to watch the recording of anything that I said today, it's Saturday, May 12th, so the recording's going to be available. I will send DMs to you guys over on TikTok, so thank you, TikTok. I will see you guys Saturday. So I will dismiss that. And thank you, YouTube, Cassandra, Ethan. I hope you enjoy Lord of the Rings. Deanna, all my